Marketing firm and holding company Stagwell's popular Sport Beach activation at the Cannes Lion International Festival of Creativity is now turning into a business, and just in time for Super Bowl 60 and NBA All-Star Weekend. Joining me now to share more about how Sport Beach will amplify these cultural moments is Beth Sithu, CEO of Sport Beach. Beth, welcome.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
So what is Sport Beach and how does it fit into the larger Stagwell ecosystem?
So Sport Beach is a global platform that connects brands, athletes, and marketers through lived experiences, so live events that drive business results for all parties. It is a part of Stagwell, born and raised there, and now a broader company within Stagwell that is intending to really expand on what we see as the major opportunity for sports to drive interesting and incremental change in marketing, digital transformation, creativity, and beyond.
And we just mentioned Super Bowl 60, of course, less than 2 weeks away. And then we have the NBA All-Star Weekend coming up later this year, the U.S. Open. How is Sport Beach going to support these moments in sports culture?
We are really excited for Super Bowl 60 all across Sport Beach and Stagwell more broadly. Excuse me. So Sport Beach shows up at sport endemic events like Super Bowl, like All-Star, US Open, F1 in Las Vegas. We also show up at places that are not sport endemic like CES or Cannes. And the intent in both places is to make sure that we are bringing together brands, marketers, and athletes on an even playing field so that they can actually interact as business people. We're not asking the athletes about the missed shot or the field goal or, what happens on the pitch. We're talking about how athletes and sports build brands, push technological innovation, even use AI. And the idea being that if we treat brands and marketers and athletes as true peers, they will build really exciting collaborations together.
All right, and you say that brands in 2026 are prioritizing cultural relevance and sustained engagement over one-off activations. How does that fit into your overall mission?
I think the best brands are building collaborations with athletes that run not just this length of a season, but sometimes for years and years. And so Sport Beach wants to be present across lots of different touch points, whether or not that's the US or France or one day perhaps in the Middle East. Our intent is to really make sure that we are in the places that are important to athletes and brands.
All right, and Sport Beach started out as an activation at the Cannes Lion International Festival of Creativity. We just saw some footage of it. What sparked the idea to turn it into its own business?
The idea really came from the people who've been part of it. We've been lucky to host hundreds of CMOs and almost 100 world-class athletes. And their push was, we want more of the opportunity to sit in rooms, not just on stage, but, in rooms, at tables, and do business together. So let's not wait for June in France. Let's take it on the road and see what else Sport Beach can be truly as a platform for our audiences.
And how does making Sport Beach a standalone business within Stagwell enable faster scaling and more intentional investment?
Yeah, absolutely. So Stagwell is the challenger network. We've been in business for 4 years now, 12,000 people around the world, and we have some of the best agencies and thinkers out there. So Sport Beach can really rely on the agencies within the broader network as we scale, whether or not it's Code and Theory, which builds our website and app, or 72 and Sunny, which helps with our brand visual identity and creative go-to-market, or Team Enterprises, which actually helps produce the whole set of events. So we really think that Sport Beach is, as a standalone entity, still a showcase for all of Stagwell's work.
All right, and what is your 5-year plan for Sport Beach?
World domination, right? Is not everybody's 5-year plan. Our goal is to build these moments for brands, athletes, and marketers around the world at sport and non-sport endemic events, and truly for athletes and marketers to be able to look at a Sport Beach event and say, deals started there. That's where I go when I want to build a business, when I want to find serious collaborators. And we think we can do that in partnership with people around the globe.
And why do you think it's so important to approach it from a business standpoint? You talked about the way that you approach athletes as peers rather than talking to them about what they're doing on the field. Why is that so important to create that environment?
So what we see is that athletes are really the leading edge of storytelling, individual athletes and the building of their brands. And because we all love some of these athletes as players and as on-field personalities, it can be tempting to show up for the selfie or the, what did you think of that trade? But, whether or not you're talking about Travis Kelce or Serena Williams, yes, they're super famous for what they do on the field, but it is their off-field work, the Kelce New Heights podcast or Serena and Venus's podcast. That's what's driving their sort of brand longevity. And if we take them seriously as business builders, if we make it clear that we think that they bring a lot more than just what's happening on the field or the court, then we open up the possibility for brand collaborations. Every brand wants fans. We use sport as a door opener, and we think that athletes are the best storytellers of how to build a fan base. So that's really why we treat both sort of sides of the equation, the brand and the athlete, as equal.
All right. Thank you, Beth Sidhu, CEO of Sport Beach.
Thanks so much for having me. Have a great Friday.